Dan, you are vengeance. You are the night. You are Batman. I am darkness. I am the night. I am Batman. Because when we started doing Batman the Animated Series, it was literally 30 years ago. It was 91. And Batman had never been an animated show. So all we really had to go on was, first of all, the Adam West show from the 60s, which was completely opposite of what they were going to do. But then the comic books, that was really what had existed up to that point. And they showed us sketches of what the characters would look like. But I don't think any of us really understood the scope of the show. So for the first 6 months, we were, the actors are the first part of the creative process. They write the scripts, they give them to the actors perform the scripts, and then those recordings are sent off to the artists. And the painting is done after that, the artwork, the rendering. And then it comes back and there's a process called ADR, where you sync up the soundtrack with the visual, with the artwork. Because there are always extra mouth flaps or, scenes are longer than they thought they would be. So you have to create dialogue. So it was that first ADR session when I first saw what it was going to look like. And I sat there in a studio at Warner Brothers, and this full screen came up and whoosh, this color came up and the full symphony score and these incredible artwork painted on a black background. So everything was so dramatic.
Goosebumps.
I looked at Bruce Timm and I said, I had no idea this is what this was going to look like. This is unbelievable. So it was overwhelming to all the actors.
Did you not expect it to be so dark?
No. And I didn't expect it to be so rich. The artwork is so rich. It's all hand painted. And the colors are so dynamic because it's on that black background. And the style is that deco noir style. So there was just a richness to it that I didn't really appreciate, was the way it was going to look.
Well, you could release that show now, and I believe it'd be a cult hit as well now.
Oh, it still is. I mean,
I know, but
I get approached all the time at Comic-Cons by people who say they just turned on to the show and can't believe how incredible it is. Yeah, you're right. It looks new now, because they spent twice as much money per episode as had been previously spent. They doubled the budget at Warner Brothers, and it looks like it. It's why it has withstood the test of time the way it has.
It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
So with fans coming up to you, do they mention the animated series the most, or is it the Arkham games that gets mentioned, or what? Is there one thing that gets mentioned over everything else for you, or is it a mix?
It's a mix.
Yeah,
it really is a mix. The younger fans tend to be more gamers. But I would say generally, overwhelmingly, it's the animated series. That audience only seems to grow and grow and grow because it's 30 years ago. So people who grew up on it now are in their 40s and 50s, and they have kids, and they're introducing their kids to it. So there's a whole new young audience now coming into it. But I'd say it's overwhelmingly the animated series.
So
because it was never geared to be a kid's show.
No,
it had to be kid friendly, but it was never written for kids. It was never geared towards kids. It was really geared towards young adults. The biggest audience was college age initially. It was originally a primetime show in the States on Fox. It wasn't designed to be a kids show, but it had to be broad enough to appeal to kids. But so the characters are all really complicated. Batman is not a traditional superhero. He can't fly. He can't see through walls. He has no superpowers. He's more of a detective. Some people call him the great detective. He's a complicated, dark, damaged man. He's been damaged by life. So in that sense, he's a very modern hero. He's a very contemporary hero.
From Cash, who keeps asking, he wants to know your favorite episode of the animated series. He's just started it last night and he's loving it.
Oh, that's great. Well, you have wonderful shows to go into. Many, many, many. My favorite is Perchance to Dream. I love that one, which we've already talked about.
Yep.
There's also a great one, although I think this was Justice League. What's it? With Poison Ivy, where I sing "Am I Blue?"
Oh, you've got a great
Remember that one?
Yeah,
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, you got a great
That was
voice,
fun.
man. And
That
I've
was
seen your
fun.
website, beautiful songs. You need to do more of that.
Thank you so much. What was the name of that episode? It's a Poison Ivy episode.
I know the one you're thinking of. The name escapes me.
Yeah, me too.
But that's,
I'm blank.
I mean, to be honest, every episode's great in that show, in my opinion.
It's
Maybe I'm a
very
bit,
hard.
maybe I'm biased.
No, it's true. Because have you ever heard of these Mondo posters? Have you seen these Mondo posters?
Oh, they're so good, aren't they?
They're so beautiful.
Oh, I want them all over my wall.
I started signing them at Comic-Cons, and then I would see these beautiful artworks, and it brought back each episode to me. You know, they really illustrate each episode so beautifully.
Talented, isn't it?
Yeah.